Music is a universal language. It is understood by all, and it unites the world. It's the soundtrack of our lives, and it's there every step of the way. It defines a moment, a mood, an emotion, and it defines me. I'm Dante Olita, and my passion is the classical guitar. Now, the classical guitar is more than just an instrument to me. It's my life. It's giving me this beautiful way to express myself that's unrivaled by anything else. It's truly shaped who I am and who I want to be. It's opened my eyes not only to my musical side, but also introduced me to lifelong friendships, life-changing mentors, and developed this deeper connection to others and to the beauty in this world. Music has changed me, and I don't know who I'd be without it. I've been playing guitar for just about 11 years now, and those first 7 were quite challenging to say the least. I'm talking trying to figure out the string names, trying to learn the notes, what they were called, where to play them, and trying to read all of that on sheet music, let alone trying to figure out how to play sharps and flats and what those look like, memorizing chords and trying to build up the strength and calluses to even attempt to play them, let alone play the questionable song choices of my parents, ranging from these 70s Italian pop songs to these classical masterpieces that were way beyond my skill set. And it was challenging, and a lot of the time it felt like I was in it alone, and I was teaching myself, jumping from teacher to teacher to these looking things up on the internet and trying to find video lessons. And it was really disheartening when I couldn't see myself performing the way I really wanted myself to. And it wasn't only until freshman year that I was brought into the guitar community and that I really found somewhere where I felt at home with music. That beginning guitar class really jump-started my musical journey and my understanding of music and what it means to me and my love of it. When we went in there, we were all like-minded musicians, or if you could even call us that, and we all had similar skill sets or lack thereof, and we were all in it together. It was no pressure environment, and we had the freedom to be ourselves and figure out what worked for us. We were learning together, we were succeeding together, and we were failing together, and we were really a team, and that was really great. And aside from just learning how to read music, learning stuff about music from the teacher, we were also learning from each other. There was such a diverse range of songs, choices, music genres, styles of playing in that class and that community over those 4 years that I was opened up to this whole new world of music and the music that was out there. I don't like to admit it very much, but I was a really big 70s and 80s rock fan, and it wasn't until I got into that class that my eyes were open to all the different choices, and I figured out what I liked playing, what songs I liked, the style I liked. I got into a band with some of my friends from that community, and we had a lot of fun. We played a whole range of songs from indie folk to some classic rock, and we really had a great experience, and we were learning. I dabbled in fingerstyle and admittedly probably playing some more of those 70s and 80s rock pieces, but that eventually led to my passion today, which is the classical guitar, and some of the experiences I had with that really helped my journey here today in classical guitar. most of the time it isn't accolades and applause, getting on stage and performing. It's practice, practice, and more practice. And to be honest, before we can even start to really create these beautiful, unique, and personalized musical ideas, we have to really break down a piece and look at the nitty-gritty of it. That means going note by note, fret by fret, chord by chord, and measure by measure, till we really got it in our hands. And yes, this process can be very tiring, long, and slow, but it can also be exciting. When we look at a piece for the first time, we are introduced to it for the first time. It can be very refreshing when we see new notes, new phrases, something totally different. And it can also be very exciting and very empowering and inspirational, because we feel as if we become experts in a piece when we figure out each tiny little detail, each phrase, the personality of the piece. We feel as if we're making something truly our own, and that we are creating something original and something that is unique and special. And once that happens, the doors open to making something truly great and special. There's always that one spot in a piece where that transition is too big, that stretches too far, or sometimes you can't jump to a certain spot fast enough, and it can really throw a wrench in the works when you're trying to really get this piece in your hands and trying to figure out how to play a certain section. But there are some ways around that. So when I've been working with my professor most of the time, a lot of the time we talk about how to get around certain problematic areas. So that can be dotted rhythms, which I'll show you here in a minute, or just taking chord by chord or transition by transition and going slow with it. That's a big thing, going slow with it. And once we do this, it kind of allows us to really make a piece, perfect it, and perfect these little areas. So especially in this piece I've been working on, Etude number 8 by Ragondi, there's quite a few of these hard transitions, and I thought I'd go through some of them right now. So at this section, we've done a lot of trying to do some dotted rhythms. So there's this section here that goes. So there's quite a few transitions there, especially that one where we're jumping here to here. So what we've done some things called dotted rhythms, which is where we kind of just dot the rhythm. And it really helps isolate those transitions so we can get there much faster. And then sometimes we do it the other way. So this helps a lot with trying to make sure we can get there fast enough and making sure that each note is clear cut and level, and once we get it up to speed, we can, using this, we can actually get it how we like it. And this comes up a lot in some of these pieces, and this helps quite a bit. And going slow really helps with trying to make sure everything is refined. So another method of trying to get these ginormous jumps, like in this piece I've been working on, there's this jump from this, and then it jumps to this chord up here, and oftentimes that's really challenging to get all the notes there at the right time and not get any buzzing and make sure all of them are clear. So something that we worked out is that we kind of just go note by note. So we would do this chord, and then we would just go to the next note, and we would kind of break down the note after this chord after the transition into each tiny little thing, so we can make sure each component is very accurate and very thought out, so that when we bring them together, they all work. So we would do the other note in this chord. We might do a little combination of the two. do that for all the different parts. So then they all start coming together so that when we play it in the context of the piece, we can get there much faster. And then that helps for later on when we start doing phrasing. It makes it so that we can really make a phrase connect with other notes and make sure that everything is brought together and makes sense in the context of the piece. Now it's time we talk about technique. Technique is essential, and it's the groundwork for everything guitar. Without it, I wouldn't be able to play the greats: Bach, Villalobos, Mertz, Regondi. When I say technique, I'm talking scales. Right hand. Left hand. Thumb placement. Finger placement. Shifts. And I get it. It's not the most inspirational thing to some people, but trust me when I say this, it's one of the most essential things you can do in mastering the craft, and it opens up a world of possibilities for your playing. Technique. You gotta do it. We all know practice is essential. You don't just get up and play a piece, you have to iron out each of the tiny little kinks. And that's where the fun is. We get to experiment, take some risks, and see what ideas work. We get to find ourselves in the music, and we get to really make a piece our own. And it all pays off, each tiny detail, when we play something we're truly proud of. But this process can be painful sometimes. The dreaded hand cramp. Once you get it, every epic idea that you could possibly have comes to a screeching halt. It will not be ignored. And just like your favorite athlete takes that plunge after a grueling practice sesh, us guitarists have to get used to that occasional ice bath. Good news, it's only our hands. But the bad news, it's cold. But it is a necessary evil, and these are our tools, and we gotta take care of them. Never gets easy. After I've learned a piece, I've worked out all the fingerings, and I feel like I know it technically. It's only special once I infuse it with my own musical interpretation. Now this is the part of classical guitar that speaks to me the most. You have to make a piece personal, and you have to feel the music. Classical music is very emotional, and even though it has no lyrics, a piece is alive. It sings. It cries. It whispers. And the beauty of it is, All of these are things that the guitarist infuses in the music. A piece hundreds of years old can sound so revolutionary and new with just the slightest turn of the hand, roll of the chord, or just how that guitarist feels on that particular day. Now, this is the stuff that makes classical guitar, classical music, or just music in general so impactful and so amazing. Now, none of this would have been possible without the mentors I've met along the way. Just as important and impactful as those friendships in that guitar community are the mentors that I've met along the way in my journey. At Catalina Foothills High School, that mentor is Mr. Alexander Meredith, the head and founder of the guitar program that's made such an impact on my life. Not only did he foster that loving and united community, he's also helped guide me through my journey and helped show me why music is important and what it should mean to me. He's shown me the impact that it can have on people's lives, the beauty that it brings to the world, and he's helped show me why I should keep pursuing my journey and pursuing music. He has cheered me on in my high points in my journey. He has helped guide me through the pitfalls, and overall he's helped me realize and believe in my own abilities, and he's really made a great impact on my life and my journey in music. It was because of Mr. Meredith that I was introduced to the other mentor in my life, Dr. Stephen Lerman. Stephen Lerman is a professional classical guitarist, and because of his expertise in the field, when I began taking private instruction from him, he honed these abilities that Mr. Meredith helped me have faith in and turned them into something worthwhile and special. He taught me so much about classical technique, classical interpretation, and overall helped me find my own voice within classical music. He took this skill and talent that came out of Mr. Meredith's class and turned them into something that I feel comfortable using in the real world, and that I feel works for me in bringing the beauty that is music into the world. It's always important to have an open mind and to listen to what other people have to say. I've had the benefit of working with Alexander Meredith and Stephen Lerman, who have helped shape my musical voice. And I've also had the opportunity to work with Professor Stephen Aaron of Oberlin Conservatory, who's helped show me how to meld two different musical interpretations and how that can ultimately lead to a better one. It's always important to follow the guidance of more experienced musicians, and that opportunity is invaluable in your pursuit to develop your own unique voice. This is what music means to me. The moment when the music and player become one, a fusion of musician and piece. It's a strict looseness, an intentional flow of feeling, a stream of emotions, malleable and fluid. Music shapes you, and in turn, you shape the music, giving a voice to these emotions too profound for words. The world needs more beauty. The world needs music.